Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I just wanted to start by reminding us today about our assignments and what is due this week. This is the second and last video that I'm going to be posting this week for econ purposes because you have one video for the business plan part one, which if you need to go back, take a look at that one. In this video, we're going to be talking about your assignment that's due Friday, your business plan part two. So some reminders, your assignments are in PDF versions on the drive for you if you need them. I also have emailed Word doc versions of both of these things to you if you'd prefer to type on those as opposed to writing them out handwritten. And this week you should now be able to access all of your assignments in Google Classroom. You're welcome to turn them in on Google Classroom, but you're also welcome to keep writing them handwritten and taking pictures or just sharing documents with me that way. Okay? So some things to keep in mind as we go through this week. We are again talking about our business plan part two. This is your second assignment that is due on April 24th. We are still plugging away at our Shark Tank project, and today we're going to start focusing on our markets, and we'll define that in just a second. So, entrepreneurs, I hope at this point you feel like you could define yourself as an entrepreneur. People with exciting ideas get really into that idea and really focused on their product or service and sometimes forget about the person who's going to be buying it. So, today we're going to really narrow in our focus on the individuals and the companies that might want to buy your product or service and not only want it, but are willing to pay for it. Your target customer, your target market, these are the peoples that you would most likely attract with your product. What I shouldn't see on your assignment is you just saying, oh, well, everyone's going to buy my product. That's not true. As much as we'd love that to be true, we know that there's going to be a specific group of people that are more likely to buy your product, and that's what we need to figure out. So to identify our target market, there's a whole bunch of questions we can think about. You have these questions on your assignment, so I just wanted to throw them up here and highlight a couple things. Some ways to think about your target market. If you look at that first question, you're like, man, I don't know who might buy it. Think about how old the person might be that would buy the product, right? What needs or wants is your product or service going to satisfy? So if I know that my coffee mug situation is going to satisfy this need to like be outside, be gardening, but be able to do it from the comfort of your home, I might think about, okay, well, who is usually gardening? Who is the person who's going to be growing their own vegetables and things in their homes? It's not going to be a young, like 15-year-old necessarily, right? It might be someone who is very busy and doesn't have a lot of time on their hands to be outside and garden. It might be people who live in apartments who don't have that gardening space outside, right? So think about the demand. We've kind of thought through some of these elements, so I just wanted to throw these questions up here to refresh you. Then what you're going to do is you're going to build out your customer profile. There are two spaces on your assignment for you to think about your customer profile. You're going to think about the demographics of that person. So if I have started to think about, well, I know people that live in apartments are probably going to be the ones that are buying my product, right? That's going to be potentially helpful for my geographic data. Are there certain areas of the city or of the country where lots and lots of people live in very tight quarters and small spaces? So I might think about like downtown Indianapolis as a geographic location where I would target my customers. Demographics, think about age, family size, ethnicity, gender. When I think of demographics, the first person that comes to my mind is like a young, newly graduated student who's like living and working downtown, especially like young women who would have just graduated, who want to like grow things on their own, but might not have the space to do it, right? So I'm going to build out that customer who is my ideal or probably targeted individual. When I'm done thinking about my customer, I need to think about my competition. So that's the second piece of your business plan part two assignment. Competitors are people, companies, businesses that have very similar products or services to you. Just because you have a competitor doesn't mean you have a bad business. It just means it's something you need to be aware of. And you need to know how to differentiate yourself and make yourself unique enough so that you are the one that people and customers are going to. Knowing about your competition is going to help you define your target market, right? So if I know that another company is selling grow growing kits to young children to try to like encourage this green thumb in kids, I know that I need to be different and I shouldn't be targeting kids with my coffee mug planter kit. Okay. In order to figure out some of these questions, we need to do a we need to do a competitive analysis. So we're going to think about the characteristics of our different firms. Who is working in this same market? So there's 5 steps we need to think about. We need to make a list of our competitors. So we need to think about who are they? Who is in this realm that's doing the same kind of things that I am? You need to summarize the products and the prices that they're offering, right? So if I know that there's another company that is selling grow your own vegetable kits to kids, what is that product? What does it actually look like? And how much does it cost? Okay. How are they different from me? Analyzing strengths and weaknesses is our step 3. You're going to think about what they do that no one else does and how are they doing it better, right? Where are they located? What about them is good? What about them might have some areas for improvement, right? So you're going to analyze what are they doing well? What might they be struggling with through the lens of these questions? Through those strengths and weaknesses, then you're going to think about opportunities um, that they might not have thought of so far. Oops, too far. So for example, if you see that weakness, right, you want to think about in that weakness, maybe there's something they haven't thought of yet, right? Maybe this children's planters kit has this amazing space for growth. Maybe I could just take their idea and adapt it a little bit because one thing they haven't thought about is that this product really should be sold, maybe not to kids, but to college graduates that live downtown, right? So how can I turn their weaknesses into opportunities for myself? And the last thing is a threat. When I look at their strengths, what are they doing that's potentially going to be something I need to compete with, right? If they're really, really, really good at something, that's a threat to me and something I need to evaluate in my own business. While you're thinking about your customers, just some things to kind of keep in mind, and this is the final note for this assignment, is thinking about customer loyalty. And this is the last part of business plan part 2. You have your competition. There's lots of other businesses that are available for us, but we need to keep customers coming back to us since there are so many other options and people they could go to. So how are you going to retain customers? How are you going to get them to come back to you? How are you going to get them to spread the word about your company? You need to think about how you're going to respond to their feedback and how you're going to keep them happy and maintain their loyalty. So this space of your assignment just gives you a little bit of opportunity for brainstorming. Don't stress too much about having every little detail flushed out, but do think about these initial questions. Alrighty. Last thing I want to show you just real quick as a reminder is where all of these assignments are located. So we go to that tiny URL website. I put all the March information in a folder so it's not gone. It was just getting a little cluttered. So I'm going to go into the April 20th through the 24th. You see your business plan part 1 PDF is here for you. Like I said, there are spaces lined out for you to write all of your information. You're also just welcome to do this on a lined piece of paper. And then you have business plan part 2. That's also here for you. That talks about all of those things that we thought about today. What are your products or services? And then you're thinking about who are your customers, that target market, demographics, your competitors, and then your loyalty at the end. Okay, so everything that we just went through in that PowerPoint is here on your assignment. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. Otherwise, you also see here that the PowerPoint slides are uploaded, so you can go ahead and take a look at these anytime. If you have any questions or want to talk through anything outside of here, stop into Zoom. Otherwise, I'm really, really, really excited to start seeing all of your businesses come together. I hope you're enjoying this assignment. It takes a little bit of creative energy, but it's something different and a good way to apply a lot of the concepts we've talked about this year. So have a great weekend. If I don't see you in Zoom, make sure you send me questions and stay safe, everybody.